What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Ready to Love Season 5, Episode 10. The episode was titled True Colors. Now, you guys, before we get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and are not yet subscribed to the channel, then I'm going to need you guys to do me a big, huge favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. Do me that big favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning your notifications on, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and discuss Ready to Love, shall we? All right, you guys, so I am so confused. Why did they postpone, why did they drag this elimination out? We knew it. I knew for a fact that Cornelius was going home. So, you guys remember last week we finished off the episode with Kamil and Cornelius and Zadia and Naeem, right? So it came down to Naeem and Cornelius about who was going to go home. And you guys remember Kamil was, doing the crying and all that shit. The one thing that I noticed about Kamil is her part. I'm like, who did that part? Moses? Because it looks like the Red Sea has been parted, right? So Kamil tells Cornelius that, the other ladies have decided that you're not ready to love. And he was like, oh. He looked relieved in that moment. But then she hit him with the gotcha. She's going to self-eliminate. I'm like, I knew she was going to do that. And his eyes was like, oh shit. She decided to self-eliminate. So I'm not free of this woman. What the hell? Can somebody help me? Help me. Anybody. Please. I need help. So yeah. Just like that, Cornelius and Kamil are gone. Good riddance. So, we're still at the resort in this part of the episode. So we see Shiloh and Phil, right? So Shiloh and Phil are hanging out, and Shiloh tells Phil that she wants to play a game of love language. You guys, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I literally cringed watching this scene with her playing this game with him. I was like, Shiloh, I don't think he's into you like that. Honestly, I don't think he's, the women that he's into, I don't think he's really into. I think he's playing a game. Like, I literally just believe this is all for game for him. I just don't really get the vibe that Phil likes any of the women like he says he does. So I'm gonna tell you guys some of the questions that were asked. So, one question was, tell me how you describe me to other people. I was like, Shiloh, I'm just gonna keep it real with you. He probably doesn't describe you to other people. He probably doesn't. He gave her an answer, but I'm like, I don't even buy that answer. Then she asked the next question was, in what way could we improve our relationship? You're not in a relationship. You don't have a relationship, so there's nothing to improve upon. Then he asked her, what are you most hesitant to tell me? The fact that she likes you, but you don't like her, right? Like, those are some hella odd ass questions for me. I was just like, Shiloh, this man just ain't into your love. He's really not. And I don't know why you don't see it. So then we move over to Dante and Aisha, right? So Dante and Aisha, he's pulled her to the side, right? And they're having a conversation. So Dante is telling Aisha that he is interested in seeing where things go between them. I was like, are you sure? Like, here's my thing, right? Remember I said last week in the review that it's kind of interesting how they don't always show us the interactions that these people have, and that when they come at us with these, oh my God, we have a connection with each other. It's like, where did this connection come from? We're 10 episodes in, and I never once saw a connection between Aisha and Dante. The connection that I always saw, the connection between Aisha was always with Frank in the beginning, but here now we don't even see them interact with each other. So I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, what did we miss? Like, y'all leave us with a lot of unanswered questions. But then at one point they were about to have a conversation. She spoke about Zadia and the interaction that they had, but he put a stop to it, and I was here for it, right? So we're gonna pause here and move on. All right, you guys, so Mumin. You guys have, I've been saying this about Mumin for weeks now. Mumin has a connection with anybody who, like I said last week, if you just adjust her wig, pull it down, shift it, and move it, you good with Mumin. So Mumin now has a connection with Frank. I was like, girl, do you just have a connection with Walter? But you got in your fifis about Walter and Sabrina, but now you got a connection with Frank. Girl, if somebody tripped you, you would be like, oh my God, you tripped me. I think we have a connection. Do you feel it? No, I don't feel it. So we see them, they're at the National Mall, right? Here we go again with the connection, right? She thought this was so sweet. Oh my God, that was so thoughtful. So you guys remember at one point that they went on the putt-putt date, right? Well, what did Frank do? Frank took one of the putt-putt balls, wrote the date on it, and her name on it. I was like, that's all it took to woo you? Girl, you can go to the store and buy a golf ball, a putt-putt ball, and say, I got this from our date when we went to the putt-putt thing. Okay. So she now wants to put, she's all in when it comes to Frank, right? She's all in with Frank. I was like, really? You're all in with Frank, but you were just all in with Walter. You got mad at Walter because of the situation with Sabrina. But you do realize that he has another connection in Sydney, right? And so you're not gonna get jealous about that because, like I said, he has a connection with Sydney. Girl, these people are frustrating. These people are frustrating. These people are frustrating. These people are frustrating. So let's move over to Zadia and Dante, right? So Zadia and Dante meet up, right? So Zadia is telling Dante, how she felt abandoned by him when they went to, the retreat. But if my memory serves me correct, right, when Dante came into the retreat in last week's episode, he spoke to her. She was snippy with him. She cut him very short, and he was like, he kind of left her by the wayside. So it wasn't on him. Then she's in her feelings because she felt unprotected. She felt unprotected. She felt unprotected. She felt uninformed. She felt a lot of uns in this thing, right? And now you guys might be like, why does she feel that way? Well, the reason that she felt that way is because of the way that Aisha just talked about him in deliberations and the fact that Aisha revealed that he gave her a massage. What they got to do with anything, Zadia? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? I'm so confused, right? So he told her that, he does have he has feelings for Aisha, right? So she got upset and she got up and she left, right? So he was like, well, I'm just sitting here eating my vegan food. And Zadia comes back, right? She said, and she is like in his face at this point. And I was like, Zadia, you a little too close to the personal for me, right? So then she was like, it was always you. Like, if it came down to it, I was going to pick you. Then she went one step further and she put her fingers on this man's nose. Just like this. Zadia, you're lucky you were dealing with someone that has self-control and restraint, because any other man probably would have, like that's my issue, right? Like I was saying in Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Edition, my review about like Amber, how she was abusive toward Miles. If you guys don't watch that show, there's a woman that was abusive to her boyfriend, her supposed boyfriend, right? They never said anything to her, right? But last season there was a man who yoked up a woman because she threw an apple at his face, and they got him out of the situation. But the women are abusive to the men. They don't do shit. Like, the minute Zadia started putting her fingers on his nose, somebody should have came in and said, you know what, Zadia, we got to get you out of here, because at this point you violated this man and you disrespected this man. But nope, nobody did that. And the other issue that I had with her is the fact that she wanted to sit there and call Aisha dense and dumb. I was like, okay. How do you know she's dense and how do you know she's dumb? She doesn't give me she doesn't give me that vibe that she's dense or dumb. But girl, if you feel like that, you in this wig, set yourself off, right? But please go, leave, skedaddle. So let's move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up, let's talk about Sid, Sabrina, and Walter, right? So Sabrina and Walter are out on a date, and if Walter says that's what she said one more time, I'ma scream bloody murder at that point, because I am so sick of him. Because I don't care what they say, he's gonna always fit in. That's what she said. That's what she said. Dude, once it might be funny, but you keep repeating it, it's overkill. So, she tells him about how she was bullied in school, right? Now, this was the part that she kind of lost me, because she said she didn't go back home when she was 18 or about 18 or 19. So she went to the gentleman's club and she got the job there. And that's what helped her get her self-confidence. She said 18 or 19. So I'm wondering if that's when she went off to school or something. I don't know. I wish she had explained it a little bit deeper, right? So we find out that they have terrible communication issues, right? Because she felt like at one point he wasn't into her because he didn't communicate with her. Once again, I don't think any of these people are there for love. I think these people are there for camera time. So then we see Sydney and Phil, right? So Sydney and Phil went on a date, right? And she asks him about Shiloh, right? He says Shiloh is his strong connection, but they have some bumps in the roads and they're figuring it out. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, what bumps in the road do you and Shiloh have? This is why I say I don't believe he's really here for her. I don't think he's into her. I don't think he's into Sydney either, but yeah, a bump in the road. The woman literally asks you, the woman is basically throwing it out there, letting you know, hey, I like you, I'm into you, but you're not reciprocating the feelings. When I look at this, Shiloh and what's his name? Phil. Shiloh and Phil are giving me old boy from last season and old girl from last season, Liz and David. They're giving me Liz and David vibes. Because at the beginning, Liz and David were, a tight match with each other, but then as the season progressed, they grew apart and David became unhinged. Is giving me those vibes once again, right? So, he asked her about Frank. She says she likes Frank, and they have a connection, but she wants for her and Phil to get to know each other on, I guess, on the level that she has a connection with Frank. I don't know. Now, he said one thing that resonated with me, right? His mother. He said his mother passed away 4 years ago and he wanted to give his mother grandchildren. I was like, oh wow, that is literally my story, because my mom passed away now almost March 19th to be 5 years, and I really wanted to give her grandkids before she passed away, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. So I really felt for him in that scene. I really, really did. All right, you guys. So we're gonna wrap up the episode, you guys. So we see them in the gentleman's lounge, and they are at the Watergate Hotel, right? So nephew Tommy is there, right? So y'all know that Cornelius and Kamil, they went home last week. So you guys got to know all the ladies. So tell me, how did the retreat go? So they tell him about the retreat, and they tell him about the situation between Zadia and Aisha, right? I love the fact that Frank was on Aisha's side. I love the fact that majority of the men were on Aisha's side, right? Except for Naeem. Naeem was the only one that was going hard for Zadia. And I'm like, but she was being, I mean, what Aisha said was not something that was that deep, right? Aisha posed a question of what if Cornelius was to go home, right? Because he doesn't have any connections with anyone else here. So basically we're wasting time, right? And like I said last week, I got what Zadia was trying to say. I don't know why I did air quotes, but I got what she was trying to say, right? You'll go hard if you have a connection with this person. You're gonna go hard for them, which that is true, right? But the way that Zadia and Kamil came at Aisha, it wasn't warranted, right? Especially for Kamil to say, "I'll fuck you up," and for Zadia to call her a hater. You were the hater. And then, they told about the Brown Girl Squad, the Mean Girls. So Tom is like, really? Is that what that is? Okay, I see now. So yeah, but like I said, the interesting thing was the fact that Naeem was really just sitting there trying to defend Zadia, and I'm like, you can't defend Zadia, right? So then we go down the line and ask the men, who are they feeling, right? So of the men, I'm trying to think of who's left. Naeem, his only connection is Zadia. Frank, his connection is between Sydney and Mumin. Walter's connection is Sydney. Phil is feeling Shiloh and Sydney. Dante is feeling Aisha. Is it 5 minutes left? Is it 5 men left? Are we down to 5 men, you guys? Please tell me. I mean, by the time I edit this, I'll already know how many men are left. We got Dante, we got Phil, the two people that I always forget. You got Frank and them ashy ass lips. You got Walter. You got Naeem. Am I missing somebody? I feel like I'm missing somebody. Maybe not. So then we go around the table and we go around and ask, who are we not feeling, right? The two names that popped up were Zadia and Mumin, right? So we see at this point, I was looking at Naeem. I'm like, ooh, Naeem is looking like he's squirming just a little bit, right? So then we see, like, who went on the dates? Walter, he met up with Mumin, and I believe, let's see, I get Phil and Dante. I think it was Phil. Phil met up with Zadia. So Phil is trying to get the, also when they were talking about who they weren't feeling, that's when Dante told about the, the nose situation, right? It was interesting because Naeem is sitting there trying to defend it. I'm like, dude, how are you defending that? Like, what? Because Tom is like, do you see any red flags there? He should, but he doesn't. So Zadia was trying to explain her point, right? There's no explanation for what Zadia said, what Zadia did. No explanation whatsoever. So I'm gonna go past her. I will say with Mumin was being rude as hell to Walter. And that's that. So Mumin is safe for another day. I don't know why. Zadia's going home, right? So when Zadia went home, I'm like, okay, next time on Ready to Love. I was expecting that. We didn't get that. What we did get was for Naeem to meet up with Tommy, basically to tell Tommy he's done with the process because he only had one connection in Zadia. Well, Tommy was like, well, from how I see it, Zadia already had a connection and you weren't her number one connection. Looks like you were a second option to her. Absolutely. Her number one connection was with, what's his name? Dante. Her number one connection was with Dante, and then she just settled with Naeem. But suffice it to say, Naeem has gone home. Suffice it to say, Ready to Love, let's never go to DC ever again. Ever. This cast is boring. This cast is not memorable. I can't even remember. Like, I don't even know how many people are left at this point. I seriously do not. I really don't know how many people are left, and I don't really know everybody that's left. I think I know the women that are left. You got Mameen, you got Sydney, you got Shiloh, you got Sabrina. Is that it? Do we only have 4 ladies left, you guys? Sydney and Shiloh, Mameen, Sabrina. I have no idea. I literally have no fucking idea who's left. That's sad. Yeah, that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video, and until the next one, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. So I gotta watch this 2-hour season finale of Life After Lockup, and I'll be back with that review.